welcome back to Squid Junction 42. I'm Sherbert here with Devi.
Hello, welcome back. It was very quick. Snap your fingers. Hey, we're back!
We're looking forward to this next game of Legato versus Mexican Pogo.
Legato, another team. A lot of these matchups so far, well, I guess we've only seen the two, and I haven't seen the rest of the bracket, but from the first stream match, it was a established team versus a pickup. And now I don't know if Mexican Pogo is an actual team, but I'm thinking they're pickup. But Legato is still a actual team, and we're just gonna go right into this already. So we're seeing again return of the double splash. It is here. Legato has brought it, but also Nautilus making an appearance from Legato, and of course Nautilus fans in the chat will be excited by this.
Very excited, especially seeing how much paint is going to be on the side of Legato. Mexican Pogo is going to have to keep getting their picks in order to maintain his zone, especially on a map like Museum, where taking the spinners makes the difference. 3 down on the side of Mexican Pogo. Legato's just going right into their plat, not holding back.
Yeah, this Nautilus being where they want to be, putting sensors, finding the people, and of course playing around this side, has the ability to go up, use that charge hold just to keep the range up there, and up in this top corner, really great place for it, but it is going to be flushed out by the Crab and the Tri-Strike's going to get picked. 2 members from Legato going down. Really nice special push back into the zone here from Mexican Pogo as they're able to cap it. They do throw that Booyah Bomb down in the corner as it looks like that the T-Tech was hiding down there as they got splatted. So now we see that the zone is in the favor of Mexican Pogo, and they are just going to be holding it as Legato is appearing back with their own special counter. And just from how the start of this game is going, right now, I have a feeling this is gonna happen for a majority of this match. It's gonna be very back and forth.
That is the Uno reverse between the Tri-Strikes and the Booyah Bomb on the side of Mexican Pogo. I'm fully expecting several recaps and back and forth. Their 2 scores are pretty close right now, but Legato does have the lead, but Mexican Pogo is in control, throwing out that Booyah to try to pick off the person who jumped out successfully.
They were still making sure that someone was there. It looks like someone did get splatted in that back corner there. So going off of the callouts, really good follow. Again, specials going back and forth, but that's how fast they can be charged from both of these comps, and it's just going to be back and forth. And yeah, by 1 point lead here, but in Mexico, like it was in Mexico Pogo's favor, but Legato taking it back. Now has to break through that penalty. The machine is the first one in, is able to get the pick on that Nautilus, and they're just making sure that it can be secured. Crab coming forward to just push some people off the zone, but the lead is of course retaken. But with how this game is going, it's not safe yet. It's not.
That it isn't, as Mexican Pogo caps the zones. But Kuvia is still in the corner over there, pressuring Bush. They get run up on by the splash, and they manage to jump out successfully. I envy their skill. There's 3 on the plat of Legato, and they're going to start falling in here as specials get built up. And there goes. Crab is out, and there is the Tri-Strike. And I see a recap in the near future. There it is. Mexican Pogo's pushed back toward their plat, but all 4 members are still up. They're going to have to try to jump out or fight to the death in this corner here. They get the pick off on Kuvia, still running against Tugster. And a crowd comes out on the side of Mexican Pogo. I foresee a quick recap soon. Oh! There it is.
The answer to your question earlier was taking the fight in the corner. And of course that happened. It went back and forth, but of course it's still going back and forth even. But something I'm also noticing is that Mexican Pogo is they haven't really had like a great opportunity to push on to Legato's plat. Also, they're opting to not. They're actually trying to catch out Legato in the corners when they push back in with specials, because they have their own counter in play, and then they're just kind of ready down below. And we see this T-Tech got 2 picks there, one off the special, one on the backside of zone there. Was followed up by Kras, but Kras does have to jump out. Zone is still in control for Mexican Pogo, as they do have a pretty good number of lead points right now. We're going back into a minute left in this game, but even then, I still don't believe this is safe with the way both these teams have been playing.
Oh, that is so true. The T-Tech sees the drop coming from the far left and cancels it, so the splash can't come in and their Tri-Strike doesn't go to the zone. Mexican Pogo has it down to the last 10 count here, trying to desperately hold on to the zone as specials come out from Legato. Are we going to see another back and forth? Are they going to maintain it? And Mexican Pogo takes the win just barely as those other Tri-Strikes were about to recap the zone from Legato.
I figured Legato was going to have that time back in. It was really close. If there was like 2 more seconds, 1 more second on the clock, that Tri-Strike would have neutralized it, and they would have had the extra painters there to cap it. But towards the middle there was a couple fights where it was Mexican Pogo who won 2 of the team fights in a row, which made it for, which kind of stalled out the specials that Legato were using to consistently fight back and forth. And were able to just take that lead back, secure it. But what a back and forth game for 4 out of 5 minutes of that match.
Yeah, it was insane up until the end. Even as Mexican Pogo was holding it down at the very end, the Tri-Strikes when they started coming out, I was expecting Legato to be able to get a pick or two, but Mexican Pogo was so quick with being able to back up. I think that's part of why they didn't push to the plat, because every team, every player has their own strategies and their own strengths, and I think Mexican Pogo truly shines in mid. But will they be able to shine in mid with Rainmaker, where you're gonna have to constantly push up?
Yeah, each team has their own built strategy, and even something with zones in general is sometimes teams just don't push in. They just wait till they come towards the zone, so that way you can just counter what they're doing so they can't actually get to the zone. Some don't go for the full-on lockout, so that way there is room to kind of go back. There's room to play around and just catch going towards objective. For Rainmaker here, I think we're going to see Mexican Pogo kind of play differently here. I think they're going to end up being more aggressive here, but we have to see who wins the initial first fights when the front lines meet face to face after pop, if they go for pop right away.
Especially it's gonna come down to a war between the Splatlings on the bridge, because bridge on this map, it's love-hate relationship. Sometimes you love it, sometimes you really love to hate it.
I don't think I've actually yes, it's a primary position, but in all honesty, I hate this bridge.
It's so fun for Rain. I mean, it's fun on tower control because you can use it to get up on the other side. But in Rainmaker in particular, it's great because when you come off the bridge, you can just drop onto that left side checkpoint instead of having to fight through the center. Where if you go take the Rainmaker through the center, you're gonna have people on your upper left and upper right bringing down all messes of ink upon you, including fall off. Which, you know, I've had $1 for every time I've died to some fall off.
Would you be rich?
Oh, I'd be more than rich. I can buy another S3 OLED.
All right, but it looks like we are seeing basically the same things coming out from both teams here. I don't think there's any changes. Memory is failing me right now.
I believe there was a double something. Oh,
yeah, there was double splash last game. There was double splash here as well. So Legato still bringing the double splash out as well. We see Rain, Crab immediately going forward. The ball point is going to be pressed back a bit as they are marked. Followed by these Tri-Strikes as well, just to secure corner. It looks like there is a 1-for-1 trade going down here. We see both teams just waiting to make sure it's safe to press forward. We see the ball point getting kind of that pinch angle and fully backing up Legato here as the Inkjet pushing forward a little bit, really close to that bomb. Looks like the Nautilus does end up going down, and it looks like Mexican Pogo does have an opportunity to take the Rainmaker, but they're going to make sure it's fully sealed as they do end up taking 2. It's still kind of a delayed 3 at the moment. First checkpoint goes to Mexican Pogo.
Legato has their Nautilus dropped. I was gonna say they had the high ground ability to take advantage there as they're trying to fight the crab. Legato manages to get the pop, and they're gonna have to start painting forward because when Mexican Pogo came up, they took really good mid control. So Legato's gonna have to start getting a few more picks in order to fight back on that bridge. Mexican Pogo pushed back to their side as Legato comes in full force, but here comes their T-Tech Hog Rider going for a nice shark move. Let's see if they're able to get the picks. They get 1! 2!
Oh, what a great
my!
This T-Tech here. The use of the kit of the T-Tech going around the corner, the right-hand side on the wall, using the Splat Bomb to trap. That's how you want to take your engagement fights around a corner. Great play by the T-Tech.
I love it when I'm able to call it and they're able to see it. Oh, the T-Tech's trying to push in again. Are they going to go for a few more nasty picks on the top left side? And they do. They get the gal, and they're fighting against the Splash. The Splash is behind the T-Tex on it again. 3 down on the side of Legato.
Hog Rider here really making some waves happen as they're going to throw out tri-strikes just to secure area here. Putting that bomb in front of the splash wall just to see if anyone's going to be there. Oh, are they getting away with this?
Hog Rider! And they jump out.
Good option because they see the barrier was going to explode.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Legato's starting their push. They don't have any points on the board yet. They're gonna have... I mean, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, anything can happen, especially as they pull out the crab. The crab goes down to rain a shot. I don't know, but it wasn't pretty. 4 down on the side of Legato, and Mexican Pogo grabs the Rainmaker and makes another mad dash. Not content with their lead, they want to knock it out.
Yeah, no, if anything, just getting it as close as possible because in Rainmaker you never know what can happen. And even though Legato still has a checkpoint to break, being able to still be on the offense is the best defense, especially for Rainmaker. Just being able to keep it on the other side of the map for as long as possible stalls out any opportunity of the other team pushing forward. But in this case, 2 members of Mexican Pogo did get picked off. It looks like Legato is trying to push forward here. They do have a couple resources online. We see the ballpoint getting picked off on top. That whale is finally coming out. We see that is kind of a delayed 3 going out there. Great use of pinching with the whale there. And the wall coming out at a good time before the bomb lands. And we see the 52 just trying to secure this path here. The ballpoint and going down again. Booyah bomb space in between. Does stall for a little bit of time. You can see all these subs appearing from Mexican Pogo. Ballpoint going back into place here with the crab kind of going out in return. And I think there was a fizzy bomb that happened right afterwards that helped get the pick on the Splash and the Rainmaker.
Yeah, Legato went 3 down, and their last member is running back, desperately trying to hold control of Bridge. They don't know about that. Hog Rider's in there again. Oh, they got marked.
They got marked.
They're hesitant in waiting for the Sharking T-Tech this time around. Legato pops specials, getting in and getting mid-control, but with the Rainmaker reset and only 42 seconds left on the clock, they're gonna have to get schmovin'. 3 members of Mexican Pogo are down in mid, with Bruh Moment all the way off on the left, getting ready to defend against Legato's push. They're gonna need specials to get in, but Mexican Pogo has 2, while Legato has 1. And here comes the tri-strikes, and they get ready for this final push.
There's definitely a back and forth fight going on here, and both of them generally are having like 1 to 2 online, but as you kind of mentioned before, the specials are currently still in the favor of Mexican Pogo. We see the ballpoint is just hanging on to that inkjet just in case in these last 10 seconds here. It is in kind of neutral paint control. It looks like a Splash was trying to flank from behind there. And did end up getting picked off. Ooh. We see one trying to go for the Rainmaker, but that was locked down by the inkjet at the very end. And they could not have grabbed that and dropped down fast enough before the shots came over that ledge.
Right, Mexican Pogo came to win. I'm still thinking about those picks that the T-Tech got hiding under their bridge. Oh, holy, and then one of
textbook.
Textbook Splatoon play. This is why we have the ink. And then one of their teammates supported them with a booyah immediately after, I think, just in case. Chef kiss. Gorgeous.
Absolutely. You gotta love to see it. And like I said before, I was expecting, like with how we were talking about teams with strategy from before, we saw like how Mexican Pogo had their strategy for zones. And then I'm just like, watch them be a more aggressive for Rainmaker. And boy, did we see it.
That we did. Oh my goodness.
Oh. What? Yeah.
My heart's still going. It was so fun.
What a great start to a couple sets there, and Legato had their times there as well. Of course, I think the time that kind of mentioned that there is when you were calling out the specials at the time there. Legato definitely was using theirs to try to clear the way to make a push happen, but they didn't really have anything left for when they needed the push to succeed. That was where Mexican Pogo had the resources to stop it. And there was really nothing to block it off. They had kind of back and forth for a little bit there, but in the end, Mexican Pogo still kind of kept theirs for when the others were ready. So you could see the clear way being happened, but there was really no advantage being made there. But still a really good attempt. Legato did had a time to get over there to potentially get that checkpoint. But there was a lot of good stall effort by Mexican Pogo with the ballpoint's range. All those subs were being released. You could see it over the checkpoint there. And and it kind of made enough time for the ballpoint, even though they went down a couple times, still to get back up, get positioned, helped shred a crab. And then fizzies were going around on top as well, and you called that 3 down scenario, and I was just like, the stall paid off.
That it did. I'm also looking at our predictions here. They got away with money for betting on Mexican Pogo right there.
Mm-hmm. There was a few, because the ballpoint I've run into before, and I'm just like, all right, we got some good high contenders here. To go from there. So if unfamiliar with players won't realize what kind of secrets a team that with an unfamiliar name might actually have.
Very true. Especially
Congrats
with the
to
ability
those
to
who
change
made
their
bank.
names.
Oh yeah.
I find that to be one of the downsides of being in a comp team with Splatoon, because people know who you are. If a certain team pulls up, you know what you're expecting, you know who's gonna play, you know what flanks are gonna happen. But then these lesser known or just lesser known to me teams will show up, and you don't know what they have in their back pocket, and sometimes it's a can of kick butt.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes the first bit of a game to process kind of what they're doing. Like, you can get a general idea of, be like, okay, they have this weapon comp. Most likely they're probably going to do this.
Right.
But they might just throw out something else that might take most of the game to figure out. And if they end up taking the game on you, hey, you kind of have an idea of the patterns of what to go into or expect on the next time. So in this case, like, Legato could have picked up that, hey, Mexican Pogo holds their line out objective really well. So we have to make sure we're picking a hole in the defense wall and then kind of press forward on the weak spot just to continue to break it down. So then they have to end up rebuilding, or they stall the rebuild. Meanwhile, Mexican Pogo, you could see that they kind of maintained the wall to catch out Legato there, and I think they were catching out on the specials as well. The counterplay of specials, for sure, is something I think Mexican Pogo did really well on Legato, because Legato were continuously to push with those specials, relying on them there to help work off there, and then Mexican Pogo just always had something in return.
Very, very true. Like, it was a huge part of the back and forths, but Mexican Pogo was able to, I think they were able to stagger their specials just a little better, because Legato would go all in, they'd do the tri-strike and then the crab and then whatever else they had in their pockets, while Mexican Pogo would just kind of dodge the first two and then respond with their own specials. They had a little better play in there.
Mm-hmm. Both had some really solid team fights in middle too. Like, again, with how back and forth that Splat Zone game was, bravo to both teams. Pat yourselves on the back. What a show.
Indeed.
But in that end, Mexican Pogo did take the set 2-0. Congrats to Mexican Pogo. And I do believe we have a break before the next set. We don't even know what it is yet, so we can't, really tell you. So, suspense.
Stay tuned to find out.
Splatoon Stronghold. A stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you're a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and request recordings of scrims as well as participate in our captain forums and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today.